can!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good performance.
Hi, you're watching Firstpost with me, Rupha Ramani. Let's get the show started. On the show today, Pakistan comes under severe flak when viral video shows just 7 flags of the 8 participating nations flapping on top of one of the structures at the Karachi stadium. India's flag is missing, as you'd assume. What PCB source, of course, has come out saying that it was done on purpose. What does this mean, and how is the build-up of the India-Pakistan clash shaping up to be? Anti-Trump sentiments boil over. A hockey game between Canada and USA erupts with a fight breaking out between the players 9 seconds into start of play. The boos and the taunts, I get you all, that transpired even as Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau watched on. What impact will this brawl have? And Jannik Sinner's ban has raised several eyebrows. He will not miss a single Grand Slam during this time. Everyone is asking, is the decision reeking of bias and favoritism? More of that on the show, but first a look at the headlines on Sports 360. Starting with cricket, the schedule for India's Premier T20 League. IPL has been announced by BCCI. The tournament will kickstart on the 22nd of March with the defending champions Kolkata taking on Bengaluru at the Eden Gardens. The final will also take place in Kolkata on 22nd of May. For the first time in a decade, this city will host the final. Meanwhile, New Zealand women captain Sophie Devine has opted out of the home ODI and T20 series against Sri Lanka starting next month. Devine is prioritizing her mental health over cricket at this point, a reason that saw her partly miss Women's Super Bash, New Zealand's domestic league, and the Women's Premier League, India's T20 tournament. Over in football, Manchester United suffered a 1-0 defeat against Tottenham Hotspurs. An early goal from James Maddison pushed United on the back foot. United are currently 15th in the points table. In another game, Liverpool smashed Wolves 2-1 to continue their winning run in the Premier League. Goals from Luis Diaz and Mohamed Salah saw Liverpool extend their lead at the top. On to tennis, João Fonseca became the first tennis player born after 2006 to win an ATP title. This after the 18-year-old clinched the Argentina Open. Fonseca is the 4th youngest man since 2000 to win an ATP event. He follows players like Kei Nishikori, Rafael Nadal and Carlos Alcaraz. In athletics, Ugandan athlete Jacob Kiplimo smashed the half-marathon record. Kiplimo logged a distance of 56 minutes and 42 seconds to finish the race. He's the first athlete in the history to complete the race in under 57 minutes. And summing it up with news from NBA, Los Angeles Lakers' LeBron James skipped the All-Star game due to discomfort in his ankle. This is the first time in his career that James has missed an All-Star match. LeBron has made 20 appearances in the exhibition game. Champions Trophy and controversies seem to be the running theme. Now, I get the hype and the excitement around this tournament. Pakistan is hosting an ICC event, finally, after nearly 3 decades. It's a historic moment for everyone in the country and for the sport. ICC took a vow to take cricket to uncharted territories, and they've kept their end of the deal. But by the time Pakistan manages to keep up and maintain their end of the bargain, there will be enough dramatic episodes to keep us hooked, both on and off the field. The latest is no Indian flag being sighted at the Karachi stadium, the venue that hosted the opening ceremony of the Champions Trophy. A fan captured a video that showed the flags of all the remaining 7 countries unfurled above one of the key stands, all but India. Of course, a report has just emerged saying the PCB has purposefully kept the flags of only the teams that are playing in their country. But is that really a just call? Because let's get one thing straight, Pakistan is the primary host of the tournament. Oh, co-host, yes, but a host nonetheless. They were supposed to hold all the matches in the first place. It's just unfortunate that the tensions between the neighboring countries, India and Pakistan, have prevented India from travelling across to their neighbour and playing all of their matches there. Now, I understand UAE is hosting India. The country will play all of its matches, including the knockouts, if they do make it, in Dubai. But the tournament features all 8 teams. The promotional video of the ICC Champions Trophy, featuring Pakistan in all its glory, showed snapshots of all the 8 countries. So needless to say, if any of the venues of the host country, here Pakistan, were to display flags of the participating nations, there should be all 8. Fans, of course, reacted to this video, with many accusing Pakistan of trying to get back at India for refusing to travel there. Now, I understand Pakistan's position. They wanted to host an ICC event, a flawless ICC tournament, and with all teams in attendance. They lost out on that battle to a hybrid setup. They couldn't host a pre-tournament photo shoot either. It's not been the most ideal scenario or the ideal build-up to an ICC event. But some things are just a no-no. PCB chief Mohsin Naqvi stood proudly in front of Pakistan fans at the opening ceremony in Karachi some days ago, saying how historic a moment this was for his country and how this was their chance to showcase their hospitality.
Pakistan is ready for the Champions Trophy. This tournament is more than just cricket. It is an opportunity to showcase Pakistan's hospitality and passion. The venues not only represent Pakistan's rich cultural heritage, but also underscores the deep-rooted legacy of cricket in the nation.
Well, clearly that hospitality comes with a rider, a disclaimer. It doesn't include India. And this faux pas, or this intentional faux pas of missing, including that Indian flag, is indeed a red flag. And this whole situation is very similar to the row that erupted when there were reports of India not really wanting to print Pakistan's name on their jersey. Every ICC event sees the ICC logo of that tournament and the host country's name printed under one of the shoulders across all team jerseys. India, of course, issued a strong statement via their new board secretary that they will sport Pakistan's name. Now, they could have just said that they are not playing the matches in Pakistan, so how does that print on the jersey really matter? They did not. They abided by the rules. Either ways, it's already created a bit of a stir to the build-up to the tournament, and most importantly, the clash between India and Pakistan that's set to take place in Dubai later this week. And we'll, of course, be getting you a special build-up to that big face-off in our coverage of the Champions Trophy, Champions of Cricket. Now, it's been barely a month since US President Donald Trump regained control of the White House, and his agenda has been simple: put America first. But a lot of the policy changes Trump has been introducing has not gone down too well with many, resulting in an anti-Trump sentiment building in certain pockets the world over, especially among America's neighbor, Canada. During a face-off between America and Canada in a 4-nation tournament, the now new tradition of booing the US national anthem during any NHL and NBA game in Canada continued. But it didn't stop with just that. This time things turned ugly, resulting in utter chaos. 3 fights broke out between the two rival teams in the first 9 seconds of the game. It got physical and fast, with members of both sides exchanging blows, adding more drama to the already intense rivalry between the two teams and, by that extension, the countries. The ugly chaos re-emphasizing the rising tension between the otherwise long-time allies. And the reason behind that is quite simple: Donald Trump's continued jibes at Canada and the threats of imposing massive tariffs on imported goods. Ever since Trump became the US president, he's floated the idea of Canada becoming the 51st state of America. And while it was initially believed to be a joke, last week Trump confirmed that he is serious about making Canada a part of America.
Amazing things happen to Canada, and really Canada in this particular. Why would we pay $200 billion a year in subsidies to Canada when they're not a state? You do that for a state, but you don't do that for somebody else's country. So I think Canada is going to be a very serious contender to be our 51st state.
And it isn't just Trump who's advocating this idea. During the ice hockey fixture between Canada and America, Team USA fans mocked Canada by wearing a Trump 51 jersey. President Trump's continuous threats of imposing a massive 25% tariff on Canadian imports hasn't been received well too. While Trump has paused his plans for a month, giving Canada time to negotiate the planned import tax on goods entering America from the 12th of March, the idea of a 25% tariff has sparked massive outrage among Canadians. The anti-America sentiments have been evident ever since Trump started with the tariff threats. The Canada versus America ice hockey game was just the latest casualty in this new battlefront. And maybe the matter won't end just yet, because even after America beat Canada 3-1 there in the game, the Americans were not ready to hit pause. Players were still taunting the Canadian team as they walked back to their dugout. And then came, of course, the post-match statement from American forward Matthew Tkachuk.
We needed to send a message. The message we wanted to send is, it's our time.
Matthew might have said this just in reference to the game, a game that America dominated and sealed a spot in the final by doing so. But probably there was more to this statement, that it was more than just a game, especially when they had a special audience to send this message to. The game was attended by Canada's current Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau. Maybe the American team wanted to tell Canada and Trudeau that it is America's time now, both on the hockey field and in the political landscape, adding more fuel to the already burning fire, because America is in the final. Canada will play Finland next with the hopes of securing their spot in the final, and that means they will get to face America once again, but this time with a shot at winning silverware. A clash that would be mired with old wounds, political drama, and revenge on their minds. Tennis world number one Jannik Sinner has been suspended by the World Anti-Doping Agency, or WADA, for 3 months. This over the dope test Sinner failed not once but twice last year. But this suspension has left many fuming. The decision of WADA, however stringent it may seem, raises serious questions on whether Sinner is really being protected. Are the powers that be trying to safeguard the Italian as much as possible? Let me tell you all that's happened so far. Sinner tested positive for a banned substance twice last year, throwing him in a series of controversies. The Australian Open champion defended his case by saying the contamination was unintentional. The International Tennis Integrity Agency, or the ITIA, accepted Sinner's defense, and the Italian was allowed to continue playing, leading to a massive storm that divided the tennis world. Many prominent voices strongly believed Sinner had been left off the hook, that he escaped it all. Only a handful really defended Sinner, and that included Spanish legend Rafael Nadal. The matter didn't end here. WADA appealed Sinner's case to the Court of Arbitration for Sports, or the CAS, And when that happened, it was believed that Sinner would at least face a ban. As is the case when an athlete tests positive for a banned substance, especially twice, even if it was unintentional. Former women's world number one Simona Halep is the biggest example of this. The Romanian was initially banned for 4 long years in 2022 after she tested positive for a banned substance. Halep's defense was the same as Sinner. The contamination was unintentional. Halep's ban was then reduced to 9 months and the Romanian returned to tennis courts. But what that 9-month period did was derail Halep's career. She was never the same, forcing the 2-time Grand Slam champion to retire earlier this month. 2 doping cases, 2 world number ones, but the difference in treatment telling. WADA reached an agreement with Sinner over their CAS appeal. Even so, does this justify the minor suspension Sinner had? Because truth is, Sinner tested positive twice for a banned substance. Yes, there's been a ban, but what is the purpose of a suspension? It means to punish the player, whoever it is, and a way to repent. This ban, however, lacks it. It doesn't really impact the Italian much. The decision was supposed to come in April this year, which would have seriously affected Sinner's tennis ambitions. What this early settlement has done is made sure Sinner wouldn't miss any Grand Slam event. So what will he miss? The list includes 4 ATP events: Indian Wells, Miami Open, Monte Carlo Masters and the Madrid Open. Basically the build-up to the clay season for the year. Sure, they too are important for Sinner's candidature to play the ATP Tour finale at the end of the year, but it is still a minor price to pay, as Sinner will return to court in May, before the start of the French Open. What about Sinner's number 1 crown? Is that under threat? Sinner's closest competitors to that are Alexander Zverev and Carlos Alcaraz, who are over 3,000 points behind Sinner currently. The Italian is expected to lose over 1,400 points, which will then require Zverev to accumulate more than 2,000 and Alcaraz over 3,000 points if they really want to dethrone Sinner. Clearly, the timing of this agreement couldn't have been better. No wonder a section of the tennis world are up in arms. There is a loud murmur of favoritism.
The president of the ATP is Italian, and as luck would have it, he will resume in Rome. When you put everything together, you still say to yourself, aren't they taking the piss a bit?
Now, Sinner has made tennis popular in a country that has always been obsessed with football. He's the first Italian to become the number 1 ranked player in the world, an athlete who has seen the backing of Italy's Prime Minister herself.
Perché a quel punto stavamo tutti così, così immobili.
È più bello viverlo in quel momento.
Sì,
però è anche
così immobili. Così immobili.
He's the toast of Italy. So did Sinner get preferential treatment? Is it even a ban when it doesn't impact you, leave you reeling and acts as a punishment for the error, even if it was unintentional? As tennis legend Roger Federer said, the noise surrounding Sinner's doping row isn't good for tennis. Well, this suspension clearly isn't either. Time for last serve. Philadelphia Eagles celebrated their Super Bowl win with a victory parade for their fans. Watch the Eagles supporters flood the city of Philadelphia. quite the scene of green there. But that wraps it up here on First Sports. I'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, do take care. Bye-bye. We're calling the show Vantage. We hope you like what we put together for you. Touted as the minimum two-way defense from that video. India's neighbours were the first to send the special edition of Vantage live from the White House throughout this week. Yes, Hindu Mandir we're on our way to Tel Aviv. Team measure, but it's also the perfect way to drive.
I don't think that
Prime Minister of Bhutan, Sherin Tagwe. Welcome to
60% of the world's
office. Prime Minister Modi did the iron.
we were actually
How are you doing? How do you like? It's been 1 year since that meeting. Iron bars separate you from the outside. Out the vote efforts. Trump had, it says, and at $4.3 trillion. 4.3 300 billion by 2030. That's what we need to tackle climate change.